The inevitable question, is Bitcoin code bulletproof? It's Neil here, Bull Runs. I was diving into, I asked myself, I was like, do I understand why it is completely trusted on a mass scale with millions and millions of dollars involved? What do I actually know about? How do I tell somebody? Is it completely legit, and can I explain that to them? And I found a couple things that I actually didn't know. And well, here I'd like to show or share. Blockchains are typically managed by a peer-to-peer computer network for use as a public distributed ledger, where nodes collectively adhere to a consensus algorithm protocol to add and validate new transaction blocks. JavaScript is used as an encoding language typically for blockchain and is notably used to build high interactive websites. It supports functional programming, therefore the most used programming language for blockchain. If Bitcoin code had the ability to be changed, what incentives or discouragements drives these options obsolete or unhindered? Superficially, the miners would have the biggest incentive to change the supply cap and grant themselves the ability to print new Bitcoin. But changing Bitcoin's hard cap may temporarily increase revenue for miners. Contrawise, doing so would destroy a core investment thesis for Bitcoin, and that is its scarcity. Changing the scarcity behind Bitcoin's value proposition is not in the miner's best interests. Although the change might increase miner revenue in Bitcoin, the loss of the faith in the Bitcoin network result in chasmic and irreversible price collapse, leading to a loss of miner revenue. Changing the software through soft and hard forks. Soft forks. As a software upgrade designed to bring a new feature or functions for the blockchain. It's backwards compatible with older versions. This means that participants that did not upgrade to the new software will still be able to participate in validating and verifying transactions. One of these such forks, soft forks examples is an upgrade called the SegWit, the segregated witness, which was applied in 2017 to raise Bitcoin's transaction throughput within a given block. Now there's the hard fork. And hard fork introduces more complex code changes, so it is not backwards compatible. The blockchain splits into two, the original blockchain and a forked version that follows the new rules. Hard forks of Bitcoin have resulted in completely new cryptos like Litecoin, Zcash, and BTC Cash. Changing the supply cap would necessitate a hard fork, which means that all nodes on the network would have to adopt the changes or be forced off the network. For an activation path, both miners and nodes would have to signal their support for the change, and once a dominant portion of the network signaled support, the change would then be activated. Nodes and miners who refuse the change would now operate a minority fork, preserving the original Bitcoin network, and the two networks would compete for the market share and hash rate. So you wonder about a hack. Can Bitcoin be hacked? Well, here's some information I found about if a hack were to occur and take over 51%. So if an attack wished to alter a block in the Bitcoin blockchain, they must recreate the proof of work, not only for the block they wish to change, but for all ensuing blocks as well. In addition, they must also produce new blocks quicker than all honest miners combined in order to persuade the nodes that their modified chain is valid. Nodes always consider the longest chain with the most blocks to be the valid chain. Subsequently, The malicious miner must control 51% of the mining power of Bitcoin network. Moreover, they must have more computing power than all the other miners combined. The difficulty of this attack makes Bitcoin secure against frauds and transaction reversals. A 51% attack is why measuring hash rate is so important. Hash rate is a measure of the total mining capacity of the Bitcoin network. And the higher this number, the more expensive a 51% attack is. Hash rate is thus a measure of security against a 51% attack. Immutability. Another interesting thing I found. Immutability. A blockchain is a chronological order of records called blocks. Each of these blocks contains transactions. Once a block is added to the blockchain, if it is unobtainable to alter, giving Bitcoin its immutability. The block subsidy is the quantity of new Bitcoin minted in each block, being the largest part of the block reward. The block appropriation is halved every 4 years. Scarcity. The scarcity is the property of a good which cannot be costlessly replicated. Scarcity does not rely on the number of existing units of goods, but rather than the price of the producing more units. For a currency to succeed, it must be widely accessible, but not easily found or created. If money can be readily found and created, it has a weak scarcity, and the trust in the value of such a currency will degrade over time. If a good is not widely available, it cannot bear the economic activity and will not be utilized. Fiat currencies are paper and or digital. They have extremely low natural scarcity. To impose artificial scarcity on the US dollar, the US federal government declares that only the Federal Reserve can create US dollars. Banks inhibit scarcity by creating unbacked loans as well, and private banks also increase the money supply at minimal to no cost. Bitcoin is indifferent to any other good in the past, pairing stringent scarcity with a finite supply. Bitcoin utilizes a difficulty adjustment algorithm ensuring that new coins are always created at a cost and that this cost remains close to the actual price of Bitcoin. Moreover, Bitcoin's halving algorithm ensures that there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin, a catalyst for what Bitcoin's values propositioned. We have some traits of ideal money, and these would consist of durability, portability, and divisibility. Durability, hence, is a property of money in which the currency can maintain its original state over time and withstand repeated use. A durability currency must be able to survive potential damage. Portability, it's a necessary condition of money, wherein that money can be easily transported across borders and long distances. A good money is one that can be adopted by many, and portability is necessary for widespread adoption. Divisibility. Currency must be divisible into different denominations to account for transactions of different values without suffering any loss of the currency's value. And I have a couple different websites that are interesting to kind of get more in depth of looking at the actual blockchain and stuff. I have mempool.space, blockstream.info. I got a couple others I will put up on the screen that are interesting just to look at prices and hash rates and actual different websites that host live Bitcoin transactions that you can see. It's Neil here. Bull runs.